So it's 3:15 AM on day 5. We are still here at the bottom of the down shaft, but in their desperation they are still flagrantly breaking human rights, and we're not getting any rest tonight. They're working all through the night using power tools. You can hear hammering, sawing, banging right by our heads. As we're lying here in our beds, rubble, stones like that are falling on our heads. Yeah, it's clearly not compliant with health and safety, with any sense of dignity or human, what it is to be a human. So we're holding strong. We're really sorry, it's really dusty because of all this rubble that's falling down. But
the government gave the green light to the controversial HS2 earlier this year after years of delays. As the site received notice to proceed, activists started positioning themselves up trees along the route in an effort to stall the construction. Our UK editor Katie Razzle went to visit the group known as HS2 Rebellion.
Here they say they're protecting trees and wildlife. According to the Woodland Trust, along its route, HS2 will also destroy more than 100 ancient woodlands, which have been around for more than 4 centuries. The company says it's 62 sites and most of the trees will remain untouched.
Sorry, it just means so much to me. These woods just being destroyed for just a stupid train that nobody wants, nobody's going to use.
The line will form a Y shape, so it starts in London, goes to Birmingham, then splits towards Manchester in one direction and Leeds in the other.
And at the moment, out there, we had them beautiful trees that were there that have gone now, and feels like something's been stripped away from you, and it's just soul destroying.
So we don't agree with HS2. We live around here and it's going to ruin the local area for what it currently is. It's a massive waste of money as we see it, for very little gain overall. And for all the disruption it's going to cause, can't see the benefit of it.
So here we are in Crackley Wood, which we have held for a number of days now. My son, Seb, is about to get removed on this cherry picker, and we've been told he will get arrested. Everyone in the trees will get arrested today. And as a father, the last thing you want is for your child to get arrested.
I'm not going to be violent, I'm not even going to resist or anything. I'm going to step into the cherry picker. And then there was a little rapper. Bent down to grab the wrappers, and in that moment, straight for the neck.
This guy jumps in and he grabs you straight around the neck.
Yeah.
So
and he
just show me the mark. Sorry, show me the marks. Okay, so right, it's directly on your windpipe.
Well, yeah, I thought he was going to crush my windpipe. So first I saw dots, and then it was green, and then I passed out.
So you felt like that fuzzy lack of oxygen.
My head felt like it was going to pop for a second. Like my eyes were like my tongue came out, and then passed out. Woke up. And he let go slightly, so I just managed to get my chin down, and I could talk then. And I said, "Get the fuck off me." His colleague said, "Get off him."
I don't know, I feel like that was definitely so they could try and get into my head and maybe put me off from future and stuff, but if anything it just made me realise the extent to which they'll go, and I can't just walk away from something like this after seeing what is going on. When I was in the trees, I saw birds nesting in the trees as they were literally ripping them down, and I had no phone on me or anything, and I just didn't know what to do.
We have just lost our home. Our home since February is Squiddly Dot. It is an old commercial premises. The building was left open, so we took over. We took possession of it in February of this year, and we've been living there since. They used common law to evict us, so no paperwork needed. They came in at 4:45 this morning. We still have people inside. We still have, I think it's 3 people inside. We've had one of the lock-ons has been released, but we still have 3 people locked on. One of them in a deep pit.
I'm still locked on, and we're really calling for everyone to help get some democracy in this scheme. Ask for a citizens' assembly so that people can actually have the say on what we want to do with all this money and what should happen in terms of addressing the climate and ecological emergency.
So we're here in Dews Lane at Harville, near Harville Road Protection Camp, and Steve, the climber, is around. I spoke to him earlier and asked him what he was thinking when he was choking my son out and why he did it, why he risked his life in that way. Hi Steve, I didn't recognise you when I first saw you there. How are you doing?
I'm good, yourself?
I'm still recovering, to be honest. From various things that have happened, like witnessing my son being choked out by you at height without a harness on.
I'm sure you witnessed anything.
Sorry, you don't think I witnessed anything? I know what I witnessed. It was very close to me. I was in the neighbouring tree, if you remember. You're saying you didn't choke him out?
So he was not unconscious at any point.
Well, he had a massive bruise on his throat, and he passed out in the net. And you climbed into the net when he didn't have a harness on, and the net couldn't take more than one person. Do you think that was safe to do? Why did you strangle him? Why did you jump into the net when he didn't have a harness on and he couldn't take more than one person? Can you answer my question, please?
There's no question to be answered, love.
There's a question, yeah. I saw my son and he thought he was going to die. There's a serious question to be answered there, like why you're behaving in that way. So how can you say there's no question to be answered? Steve, how can you say there's no question to be answered when
Remove yourself from the gate, Larch.
I'm asking
you're no
you a
longer
question.
on the public highway.
I'm asking you a question. You said there's no question
Larch,
to be answered.
remove yourself
Can you answer
from
the question?
HS2
Sure.
property.
I'll happily move. Answer the question, please.
Remove yourself from HS2 property. You're no longer on the public highway.
Answer the question why you endangered my son's life and made him think he was going to die. Why did you do that? Was it to save a few minutes to make the job slightly quicker?
Last warning, Larch.
I'm asking you a question. Please, will you answer the question?
Last warning. Remove yourself.
What are you warning me about exactly? I'm asking you a question.
You're
not. He's not your boss. He is. He nearly killed my son. He nearly killed my son. Yeah. I want him to answer.
I've been from Biddeford to Banbury, lived in mansions and huts. Now I'm living in an old snake wrangler's truck. 'Cause I've got the devil's light, yeah. I've got the devil's light. I've got the devil's light, and it's a shine on me.
There's a real feeling actually of things building. It's quite a contrast from even a week ago, where certainly at this camp we were feeling quite flat. You know, we'd just been evicted from the garage, and you know, in a way that seemed illegal. We were taken by surprise that they did it without any paperwork, and we tried to get an injunction, but that, you know, to stop the illegal eviction, but that didn't happen. We had the disruption of all of our stuff being lost or displaced, whatever. But now, you know, a week later, we've picked ourselves up, and really things are really going well. So there's people joining every day, which is amazing. People coming in, particularly through the HS2 rebellion. sort of initiative, and they're seeing that, and kind of which is an open invitation for everyone to come and get involved. And we want to provide more and more structure to support that.
You mean, sorry, I should just say you're speaking to Seb. Seb is in, I've got you on speakerphone. This is Larch, so Seb is also listening. He's a bit further away.
Sorry, is Seb listening to this?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Fine, did you get any of that?
Did you hear that, Seb?
What are they trying to say?
It's saying that the video evidence doesn't suggest you were assaulted when you were in the tree.
So they choked me until I passed out.
Yeah. So
how is that not?
Yeah, Larch, it doesn't show anyone being choked.
what footage is it you're talking about?
Body worn video from the enforcement officers.
Can we actually get to see the footage ourselves?
I doubt it. I'm going to say no at this point. From what we've seen on that footage, it simply doesn't show an assault. And what you may or may not appreciate is the enforcement officers are entitled to arrest. They're entitled to use, they're entitled to use force.
We definitely would like to see the footage, and I think we would like to speak to the officer that's made that decision, because I completely disagree with the decision. It's not about what I want to hear, it's about what I saw with my own eyes, and I saw, a very clear assault. I saw risks taken with my son's life, twice, from two counts. One is the jumping in the net, and the other is the choking out. And I do not believe that should be condoned as reasonable force. There it's Larch, how you doing?
Oh, hello, Larch. Thank you so much for ringing back. Oh, I was just speaking to Sarah. I had no idea that Jude's name was blocked off.
They've just done it this morning.
I just want to get a cup of tea. I haven't had any water this morning. We haven't got any on the camp, and I can't believe that they've just, boxed us in like this. Yes, you are. You've locked the gate. Our access to the tap just there, and you know it is because you watch us do it every day. Sorry?
Not your water.
Yes, it is. The owner of that house has said that we can access their water.
Certainly, as of last night, we heard it was still in the hands of Ron Ryle, and it seems a bit strange that something happened overnight. But and the owners haven't been notified. Also enshrined with this is there's a tap on Ron's house, just outside his house.
Please.
So why are they allowed through?
2 meters, please. Oh, wow! I bet that's 23, isn't it?
About 2 meters.
Stand back 2 meters. Run. Oh, God.
Coming out, Tommy!
Move back! Move back!
Get off him! Get off him!
Hands down! Hands down!
Get off him! Leave him! Leave him! Leave him!
Hand off your head!
Leave him! Get off him! Get off him! Get off him! Leave him! Get off him! Out of my space! Leave him! Get off him! Out of my space! Leave him! Leave him!
2 meters! Are you gonna do that?
Yeah, punched me in the face, ripped my hair, choked me again. It's alright. It's fine, I'm used to it by now, I don't mind.
Your blood in here? It's blood in here.
Yeah. It's alright.
What they do on all the other sites is they draw a line they spray it on the road, and then not over the blue line. So as long as we stay this side of the blue line, and the blue line will typically be, well, it depends on the size of the bell mouth. As you say, this is a huge one. I would say it's that line there. But you're on the edge anyway. Yeah. Excuse me, mate. You're not going to be going in today. We're blocking the gate.
Please get off me, you're assaulting me.
No problem to that lot.
Step back. No, you're being ridiculous. Yeah, but look, you're being ridiculous.
By all means.
Show me the plans that say you own that land.
On this line, please.
Were you just going to stop it
from me? Keep your distance. Personal space. Personal
Do not
space.
assault me on public land. Do not assault me on public land.
That's personal space, sir.
Leave him. Or would you stand 2 metres back in the middle of the road, which is what they're requiring? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I can see where you're coming from.
What do you think about that?
The problem we've got is it causes a backup on the highway, doesn't it?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So let's not do it. We don't want to do that.
What's going on now? She's stood in the middle of the road.
She doesn't want to be in the middle of the road.
She's chosen to stand there.
No. She wants to stand.
I've just watched her. No one's forced her to.
Let us finish this conversation, please.
You can talk this.
Brett said I could speak with the
private property. Stand on the pavement, please.
Can you not advise them?
We can advise them. I just need to speak to my colleagues, see what's happened over there, see where we're at. All right?
Thank you. Yeah. I'm keen to finish our conversation that we started earlier.
Yeah.
We know that right to protest exists because it's how we bring about change. It's how
there's not delivery coming. Are you going to move out the way and allow that delivery to come through?
As I was trying to explain, the right to protest, you know, we've used all of the legal channels for the last 10 or 12 years. There's been a lack of democracy. There was no strategic environmental impact assessment on this scheme. That's the law requires a strategic environmental impact assessment on large schemes. This is the largest scheme there's ever been in the UK. It's had no strategic environmental impact assessment. Why is that?
Nice.
Because it's an illegal scheme. The scheme is illegitimate. It doesn't have the backing of the people. It doesn't have a proper democratic process. So this is a classic, just as apartheid and slavery and segregation were wrong, this scheme is wrong. 93% of the public in the latest survey oppose it. In a time when we've got a coronavirus pandemic and the NHS is struggling, it's absolutely reprehensible to push 200 billion into this scheme that's not properly thought through, democratically mandated, and indeed accelerates the climate and ecological emergency. So the point is that
right to protest, and so that's fine.
Yeah.
Since we've been here, though, these guys have said to you, "Can you go there?"
Yeah.
Which is your right to protest.
If we did this, the scheme would continue, and all of what I've just said would continue. An illegal scheme.
By standing on lorries and obstructing the highway isn't going to prevent this from happening.
It will. That's how social change comes about. We can protest along here, and they stand 2 meters back.
But you can't obstruct people from doing their work.
That's part of protest. Yeah, but I just want to deal with this first one first, which is about where we can stand and where we can operate. Now, will you help us do that in a way that's safe?
We can try and help, yeah.
Great.
Push a bit more. That's it. Okay. Great. Ooh, hold it back again. Thanks, slowly back. Well, I've got a really bad thumb. The police mashed me and I had all the strain on my thumb. That was great, really good swinging. Right, the 2x2, here it comes.
And then straight through, and then a circle, boom, and then there's an end in it. That's it, now you can read that fucking. It's like a badger squirrel, like you say, it's quite cool.
So you guys were just saying that you just met, how long ago did you guys meet?
2 weeks ago?
No, longer than that, wasn't it?
2-3 weeks.
Feels like longer than that.
Yeah, been through a lot.
Yeah, it's been through a lot.
Now we live together.
Yeah.
Up a tree.
Yeah, it's cool.
I feel like seeing Steve on a tree still doing what he's doing, whereas Seb still, you know, months and months after the incident wakes up at night crying, or worse, you know, and has nightmares, and I still kind of help him through that. It's something that just shouldn't happen.
Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? A paved paradise, put up the HS2.
So we're here in a tree at Denham Country Park, protecting this incredible ancient alder that's about 600 years old. And there are 5 of us whose lives depend on this steel cable that's running across the river.
"1,000 children are dying every single day because of climate change. And I don't want to be one of them, and I don't want any of my friends to be one of them. I don't want any more deaths to happen. So I'm here, of my own free will, as an autonomous being, to try and stop this."
You're now endangering him. Stop.
He's holding onto a thin little branch. He's got no safety on. Stop! Stop! He's about to fall off!
Stop! Please stop!
He's going to fall off!
What are you doing?
Fuck!
Are you alright?
Fuck!
Outrageous! You knew that was going to happen! You've just done that deliberately! Absolute negligence!
Disgusting!
Life knowingly! Ashamed all of you should be!
Disgusting!
Are you joking?
HS2 say they put safety first. They have not done that today.
No, this is the team yesterday that came in and measured the river as they literally dropped him. This is one amazing defence that we have against HS2. We've been able to hold this for a few days now, really slowing them down, costing them a lot of money, loads of resources, making them do completely irrational and unsafe things to get us out of these trees, giving them problems they don't know what to do with, so they end up putting people in danger. So I would say they're probably going to drop it now. I would say we should probably go. Please.
Well, you can see there's a lot of emergency services here. We're not sure what they're doing. They just cannot believe they would contemplate trying to get us down and endangering our lives like they did yesterday. But there's a lot of them there. Hopefully there's enough of them and enough scrutiny that they will make better decisions today and not endanger anyone's lives.
I'm a bit nervous for the safety of my friend and my dad, because obviously what I witnessed yesterday stood right here, not on the wire, so I've decided today is like, I need to be on that wire. It was too much to watch it happen and not be the one falling. Yeah, it's enough trauma. I have to fucking deal with it for 2 days in a row. You can't promise that though. Promise?
We have been defending this walkway here, so over the river Colne, but we were concerned today that they might take more risks with our lives, and the main risks that they've taken is, as you can see, hacking that ancient alder up whilst disturbing our lines. These lines were much more taut, much safer this morning. As the days progressed, they've cut and wobbled our lines, and it's been really quite intimidating and scary.
You guys are there to protect people. You did this because you want to keep people safe. You did this because you want to keep nature safe. No, because that's not what you stand for. You don't protect people, you protect property. And that's it. Yeah, not my property, because I'm working class. Not even your property if you called the police, because you know all you'd get is a case number. But a billionaire calls you and you'll go to the end of the earth to make sure that everything they lost is given back to them. Because you protect capital. And that's all.
People got the power.
Tell me, can you hear it?
Tell me, can you hear it?
Getting stronger by the hour.
And stronger by the hour.
Power!
Power!
People!
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 Can we get more people moving?
that life safety line, what they just cut. You're a professional.
Yeah. No, if there was a police climber on that, then that line, well, they just wouldn't fuck around with any sort of cutting of lines.
Well done. Well done.
No, I'm not
No,
alright.
I appreciate that, babe. I'll be mindful.
Yeah, and my arm is fucking killing me. Look. Get up!
I want to toss it.
Complaining of an injured arm, he's getting handcuffed. You don't need to pull us, you'll walk yourself, mate.
35 people watching and loving you.
Whoa.
What a day. I'm slightly hoarse. I'm amazed I've got any voice left at all. It's just an incredible day of people pulling together and just showing what's possible. If we can repeat this kind of day, I mean, they've just taken weeks to get one tree down. But so many things happened, so much has been compressed into 48 hours really. But yeah, it sort of built up to a crescendo today, I think, in many ways. And then eventually they've all left, and so we've had this massive final relief, an incredible sense of victory. Wow, we've kept this tree house, we've kept this tree. Everyone's pulled together. We had not dozens of people helping out today, different roles, and yeah, it's really gone quite big on social media, which is just fantastic. So another big step in building this campaign and helping us stop HS2.
A line that's all you want for a never rising sun, for an ever rising sun.
That's cheating.
Oh, look at this. So yeah, it's snowing here in London. We have got only just 3 days to go before we suspect they might try and evict us. We're having a bit of fun, making the most of it.
In the centre of the camp, the protesters have built a hut, and inside this hut, in the gloom, because there's no electrical power, is something they've kept hidden.
It's a tunnel. This is the down shaft, and then it goes off in all sorts of directions.
The protesters chose not to film the entire tunnel because they say they don't want to give away any secrets that, if widely known about, may make it easier to evict them.
Hello, we're live at Euston Square Gardens, very early in the morning. I don't know who's going to be watching this, but if you are, please come and join us. Please come and help. We're in the midst of an illegal eviction. You hear the shouting down there. People are being dragged out violently out of the fort.
Yeah, so here we are in the tunnel. They've been building up to this for some time. We just had this whole escapade where the BBC, we gave them privileged access to the tunnel on an agreement. They wouldn't send the material out to the public until the eviction had started, and then they reneged on their promise and went out last night. So it's all happening at the bottom of the down shaft. I said we'd all fit in though, didn't I?
We got at least 2 months down here.
Can we tell them to come back next week?
Yeah, so we get some more space. Yeah, they're not touching the hatch. They're peeling back the door. They're prizing the wall off now.
So have they established that there isn't a, we've got a tunnel under here yet?
They haven't established that yet. They're still digging currently until they can stick their heads in and see that it's there.
Right, okay. Even though they know they might be risking a collapse of our tunnel now. So this is them coming through our down shaft. They're digging through, as you can see.
Understand rock climbing terminology?
I do.
Okay, so if I shout below, that means that something's falling, okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've just heard you say you're going to come down another 3 foot, but what we've just realised is that our tunnel obviously comes off of this down shaft, and it comes off below where you're digging. So if you go down another, any much further really, it's going to compromise our tunnel because it's going to be.
I have seen the depth of this. I saw it this morning, and I also saw it on that lovely little bit of BBC. So I'm comfortable to come down at least 2 foot. Then I will assess by looking in and seeing where that shaft goes.
So we're into day 2 of this tunnelling escapade. The hardest thing now is the noise. They're constantly working 24 hours a day and making loads of noise with loud machinery. It's really just means we've had no sleep. Yeah, so it's that's really hard.
I can't move.
Alright, I don't mind you touching me on purpose when there's a good reason, but health and safety, coronavirus and all this, go on, don't fall asleep.
You've been sitting on my head and you're saying coronavirus.
Please, come on.
You've literally been sitting on my head and you're talking about coronavirus.
To me,
you can shut up, mate. You can shut up. Stop lying to me. Stop sitting on me. Stop standing on me. Get out of this hole, man.
There's a situation going on in Crystal Tunnel at the moment. There was liquid mud coming through the wall last night. The rain stopped and we informed them of this problem, and they said they were going to pump the water out. The rain has now stopped, and loads more liquid mud is coming down now. We believe, the only explanation I could think of is that they're pumping water the other way to try and get people to come out.
2 days after we exclusively showed anti-high-speed rail link protesters in a secretly dug tunnel under Euston, the government has condemned the action, saying lives are being put at risk. But protesters tell us that they're the ones being put at risk by those rushing to try to evict them.
But one rescue expert who has spent decades removing protesters from tunnels told me he'd like to see this operation halted and reviewed.
I think there needs to be a stopgap. It needs to take a breath. Everyone hold the tunnel and send people off and replan this whole operation. Whoever does it, it's got to be done right. Otherwise, we're going to end up with somebody killed, and then heads will roll from the Department for Transport all the way down through HS2. This is very serious.
Yeah? Yeah, a longer bit so we could brace it maybe.
Whoa, mate, you're just right on my head. Yeah, but that comes down, you're going to fracture my skull.
As we're lying here in our beds, rubble, stones like that are falling on our heads. Yeah, it's clearly not compliant with health and safety, with any sense of dignity or human, what it is to be a human. So we're holding strong. We're really sorry, it's really dusty because of all this rubble that's falling down. But whoa.
Major health and safety breaches, parallel tunnels.
I didn't realise you had a tunnelling qualification to your name, actually.
No, I don't, but I am
There you
aware
go,
that
then.
they are major health and safety breaches.
Well, I have, thank you.
and I know exactly what I'm doing.
Right. It's Laser from inside the Euston Tunnel. We're on day 6 now. The bailiffs are currently digging a parallel tunnel to R1. They've dug a parallel down shaft and they're digging a parallel tunnel, which is incredibly unsafe and against health and safety protocol.
Good evening. For 9 days and 9 long nights, HS2 protesters have been refusing to leave their underground tunnels at Euston Station. Last night, the bailiffs reached them, but one has locked his arm in steel and concrete. Well, his father told us he is worried for his son's safety, but from deep underground, Laser told our political correspondent Simon Harris the protest is too important to leave now.
Laser is from a family of environmental campaigners. His father lives on a remote Scottish island. One of his sisters is in the tunnel with him. She uses the name Blue, and their activities have given their dad a fright.
Yeah, I've gone through a terrible week because I've been facing the fact that I might lose them and that they might never come out. And that's an appalling thing to go through as a parent.
This bailiff's been sitting on me for the last at least an hour whilst he's trying to take me out.
The first time I asked him, he lied and said he wasn't sitting on him, even though he blatantly is. Please, man, please just get off him. You could just stand up. It's really dangerous if his arm goes dead.
I'm finding it incredibly uncomfortable, as you can imagine. It's quite heavy. And since I'm in a compromised position in a lock-on tube, obviously, it would be nice if he could get off me. But he's ignoring us.
We've been here for 11 days now, and Laser's just about to leave. It's a bit sad because it's really nice to have a sibling and someone who knows you really well and has been through a lot of your childhood and has a lot of the same realizations as you. And we've been raised we're committed in the same way because we come from the same place and have the same understanding. And our dads taught us a lot about science and rationality, and that's a lot of why we're here and why, because we understand the science and we understand what's going to happen and how much danger we're in as a species.
Yeah, I get to go out and join all the other siblings, but Blue has to stay down here.
Stop pulling her, you're going to hurt her. Leave her alone.
Can't see the sleeping bag's
Her
covering
feet
it.
are chained.
Sleeping bag's covering it.
And I'm on her legs. Brett, you said if someone...
Show us the chain. Prove it. Prove it.
You back off. Back off. Stop it. You're pulling her chain. I'm on it. Get off. I cannot wait. Back off and I'll show you. Brett said no one would be grabbing from a tunnel unless you got clear access to the person, including their ankles. She's chained on by her ankle, and I'm also in the tunnel. She's chained. She is chained. Yeah.
I'm really terrified for my future. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where I'll be in even 20 years. But I think we have a real chance to stop it and to end the climate and ecological crisis. And that starts with stopping HS2 and stopping all these ridiculous projects that just aren't solving anything and are increasing our risk. Yeah, because we're facing societal collapse and wars and famine and drought on a scale that we've never seen before.
So I've just seen the photograph that won Scientific Photograph of the Year. It's a picture of the North Pole underwater. For me, this picture is devastating because the Arctic albedo effect
is the way that the Arctic, the snow and the ice in the Arctic reflects a lot of the sun's energy back to space, and when we lose the Arctic albedo effect, we will replace that snow and ice with dark water and land, and much more of that sun's energy will hit the surface of the Earth and radiate heat out and help contribute to further warming. And it shows why I need to be down here in this tunnel.
Burrowed beneath the tents of the bailiffs trying to evict them, there are still 5 climate activists digging in. They include 48-year-old Larch Maxey, doggedly calling out what officials are doing and the methods used to reach the tunnellers. His worried parents, Paul and Dorothy, are able to stay in touch with their son underground by phone.
How are you finding all of this?
Difficult, emotional. You worry about their safety.
You say you're worried for his safety. Have you asked him to stop?
No, because it's like asking a train to stop. He's doing what he believes in.
I would never have asked him not to do it, because that's what he believes in, and that's what he really feels he must do, really.
We just had a major collapse on Dan.
Just dress back a bit, Larch.
I can't hear you what you're saying.
Just dress back a bit.
Dress back a bit?
Yeah, in case it goes.
Ian, I think you should stop this operation. That's clearly not planned or safe. Like, Dan just got about, what, a third of a ton of soil landing on him? So I've got 2 uninvited guests into my home this morning. Ian is out there. He's been sawing away, opening up, and I'm hoping he's not jeopardising the integrity of this chamber, because it's a big chamber, there's a lot of weight on it. And then right in here is Dan. Can't really see him, but there he is, down there. He came straight in uninvited. I asked him to go back, but he refused, so I built him a little entryway, porch. So he's in the porch at the moment. I'm hoping at some point they might go out and let me shut the door, get some peace. I've only had 2 hours sleep, but it looks like they've decided the other way. I thought it was too good to be true that they'd actually do some tunnelling. They started at one section, about 1 metre, spent a day on it, got half a job done, and then they've left it. Decided it's too small, but most tunnels aren't. This is a chamber. Most tunnels aren't this big. So anyway, we'll have to retreat to some tunnels at some point, I guess. So that's Brett. He's the supervisor of the tunnelling team. He's coming to inspect what's going on, but he is minded to carry on. He's suggesting that acro props and some shoring will stabilise it.
There will be a pause for a while, I will say that.
Oh yeah? How long are you likely to pause for?
It's a pause, that's all I can say at this moment.
Okay, are you going to check this out with the health and safety, or?
I'm going to have a discussion with all parties relevant.
Okay, great. So the honeymoon is over. They've started coming in again with an angle grinder. I'm not sure why. They haven't really explained what they're doing with that. They just cut my passive air supply, so if the compressor packed up, I'd always have that. This whole exercise on this chamber should be stopped because it's clearly not safe. There's been a collapse, so please get on the case with the health and safety executive and anyone else you can think of. Thanks. So we're in the tunnel in Euston Square Gardens. It's 1 day short of 4 weeks and I have been evicted. I have basically met my match. They've come for me and they've rinsed me completely. They got all my stuff, they got me backed into a corner, and at that point I was like, okay, I'm coming out. So I'm just had a cup of tea, sorting my stuff out, and got a deal that I can get some messages out to people, so I'll be coming out presumably in the next hour or so, so hopefully we can get a chance to get the media there. So my understanding from the lawyers is that they don't have a possession order, so obviously that needs to be followed through, whether this was illegal or not, but it's a fait accompli now. They've done it, they got me, so yeah, time to regroup and see what's next and see how I can support those that are still down here and support the other camps. We talked about that in a video yesterday. So hopefully, yeah, let's get more people involved. Let's turn this climate and ecological emergency around and stop and support the climate and ecological emergency bill and stop HS2. I think with the tunnel, what we accomplished was amazing, and I think the action in itself really helped to shift the Overton window around awareness of HS2 and its role in the climate emergency. The fact that we were willing to sacrifice our safety and our comfort by living underground for so long spoke volumes to people, but it also affected people, it impacted people in a way that none of the other actions I've done have.